of a slap, a parking ticket, essentially, compared to what the Raiders are facing here. But at the same time, there was a lot of callousness here from the Raiders. When you saw what they were doing, we saw on social media, them at that gathering, not wearing masks. And we're at a point now where we're starting to see a lot of teams deal with COVID-19. It seems that right now, this is probably, of all the weeks this season, these are the most amount of teams affected by it. The good news is there aren't any teams with any significant outbreaks. But, guys, we can go through the list right now, and there's a lot of teams that are dealing with, whether it's a staff member or a player. And I really think this was the league going, all right, we need to tighten this up and make sure this does not become a problem. Because so far, Roger Goodell is getting a lot of praise for how far they've come along this season without any significant interruption. I know when I talk to you guys in the summer, I think I even said to you on your show, there's no way the season was going to go all the way. Because I think at the time, it just didn't seem like it would make sense. And look at us now. It's week 9 and it's going smoothly. So this is a message more than anything. And I think Jon Gruden will clean it up.
No question about it. Multiple facilities were closed this very week, yet the games go on unimpeded. Just to bolster Key's point, for those that haven't been following, because every team's been affected differently, the NFL had fined the Raiders $500,000. Head coach Jon Gruden $150,000 for not wearing that mask on national television. And most importantly, this might actually gain the attention of a lot of people around the league. A 2021 6th-round pick was taken away from the Raiders. That, according to Yahoo Sports, fellas.
Mm-hmm. Diana, let's go to the Chicago Bears for a second. What do you think about their confidence level in Nick Foles?
So leading into this game, well, first of all, let's just start with playing off the COVID story. We know that they're dealing with that as well. They're one of the teams that their offensive line is getting hit with players that have COVID, or at least have been in contact with those that have it. So that's their priority right now in handling the safety and health of their team, which obviously becomes a gigantic distraction to what they want to do. Any team I've covered this year that has dealt with an outbreak, it absolutely overtakes what they're trying to do because everything has to be adjusted behind the walls. Everything becomes virtual. They're not able to be out of practice, and it really changes the way the week is supposed to go. So that's the first element to this. In terms of what Nick Foles can do, the sense I've always gotten when I talk to especially the receivers on the team, they believe that Nick Foles is good and can do this. It's just really trying to bring it together. Look, I'm not going to ever get a receiver to go on the record with me and say Nick Foles is trash. It's just not going to happen. But you can pick up on tone. You can pick up on when they're talking about the game plan and frustrations, and it just seems that the frustration lies a little bit more on the play calling than it does their actual quarterback. And maybe that's something that they can clean up this week, but we've seen this all season long, and we've seen the relationship on TV, just the verbal cues and the physical relationship that you kind of see between Matt Nagy and Nick Foles. They don't seem to be grooving as much as they need to be for the, head coach / offensive coordinator with the quarterback.
Diana, I could think of one wide receiver that would tell you a quarterback is trash. He's sitting right next to me right now.
Man, stop, man. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever gone public and said, like, your quarterback is really bad?
I didn't need to go public. Y'all knew. When y'all covered me, you knew what I was dealing with half the time. Diana Rossini, ESPN NFL reporter, covering the Bears-Titans game for us at ESPN. Diana, when you look at the Bears, for instance, how do they feel about their chances of either winning the division or just making a wild card berth?
Guys, we can sit here all day long and talk about how bad Nick Foles has been and how their offense is abysmal at times. But this is a team with a really strong defense. Talking to Tennessee this past week, preparing for this Sunday game, I mean, I can't hear enough about Khalil Mack. I can't hear enough about their secondary. So in terms of going into this game and their confidence in beating Tennessee, on the Chicago side of it, I mean, they definitely think Tennessee is raw at this moment, and they can. This is not the same Tennessee team we saw at the beginning of the season. They have a lot of holes. We know how bad the Titans' defense has been, specifically on third down. And look, this past week they cut Vic Beasley. To me, that sent a really strong message. Vic Beasley was a really good player a few years ago. They spent a lot of money on him in free agency, and they just cut him. That tells you that he wasn't doing much. We all saw that on television. But also, I think that was more of a setting a message to everybody that it doesn't matter how much we paid for a guy. If you're not going to play hard and you're not going to sort of buy into what the Titans like to do, you're not going to survive there. And maybe that can be something that gives them a kick headed into this game. But for the Bears, they're competing in this. I think we look at them as if they're out more than they do, which obviously they don't, play.
Old school. Great stuff. Let's bring in Diana Rossini, ESPN NFL insider. Diana, I hope you caught the end of our conversation there, just about exactly what Joe Douglas meant when saying Sam Darnold was the future. Key seems to think that's pretty firm. Jay was thinking, a little wiggle room there. You can't take everybody at face value. From all the contacts that you have and all the sourcing you have on this situation in the organization, where do you fall?
Yeah, Jay, normally I'd be right in your corner on this because how many times have we seen GMs stand up there at the podium, talk to reporters, and essentially it turns into the kiss of death as soon as they show support of anyone, a coach, a player, and sometimes they just contradict themselves and they don't want to reveal. But like most times, I'm agreeing with Key on this. The Jets are all in on Sam Darnold. I've never had a conversation with anyone in the front office or even on this coaching staff, which, we can obviously have that conversation of whether or not they'll even be there next year. But the sense has always been that Sam's the guy. They're going to move forward, Sam Darnold. I feel very comfortable saying that.
When you look at what's been your reaction around the league with the Raiders being fined so much money in draft picks, Diana, from just Jon Gruden. Like, come on, coach. Like, just get it right. What's that reaction that they continue to just seem to screw it up?
Well, I think obviously the league is trying to send a very strong message by making sure that everyone in the league is seeing that they're not messing around. Because, look, let's go back to September when we saw teams that were technically not
position to put my team in the best position to get the assets that I want.
That's not what he did, Jay.
But how do you know that?
Because all he said was the future. He didn't say, we love Sam. Sam is playing, balling out. He didn't say that. He said, he's our future. Let's listen to the sound.
I think Sam is the quarterback of the future, so I'm not going to put that on the next 8 games. I think everything in the next 8 games is going to be on progress from our young guys, progress from our veteran guys, progress from everybody. We just need to do everything better. We need to do simple better. So that's the focus over the next 8 games.
I'm not putting everything into the next 8 games. He's our future. That's all I'm saying.
But Key, I hear what you're saying. Everybody has a different style on how they approach this. So Andrew Berry can say, I don't get into narratives. That's his style. You can't tell me that Joe Douglas potentially can't have a style of just deflecting, not answering that question, but may have an alternative strategy. I mean, that's just, man, you a businessman. You know about this business and how it could work. They
all have strategies. There's no question about it. I agree with you. But he likes Sam. The man said it. The man said it. All I'm saying is what he said, Zubin. That's all I'm saying. It came out of his mouth, not out of mine.
But can you I'm not arguing with, can you understand my reasoning, Key?
I understand what you're trying to say. I get it.
Can you say it's feasible? In some way out there in the world, it's feasible.
No, I can't say that.
No. So you're saying 100% definitively, there's no way they do anything with Sam Darnold.
If somebody came to them, just like anybody in the league, they come to him and you wow him with a crazy offer, then of course he's going to look at that. That's just part of it.
So you agree with me?
But no, I don't agree with you. What I'm saying is that if they come to him, hey, we're going to give you 2 1s and a 2. Well, he'll be a damn fool not to take it.
Key,
if there's a quarterback available, but they're not going to come to him with that type of offer. So therefore, he knows that Sam is the future. All he has to do is fix the coach. That's it.
It's funny to me when we went with the top 5 receiver comment. You prefaced your whole comment by saying semantics, nuances, and so you make that narrative applicable to your top 5 receiver conversation. But now you're not making